So just to kind of start our conversation, maybe how important is pneumatics technology to industrial machinery applications today?
Well, so if you're talking fluid power overall, um, fluid power is popular because it's robust and durable. You can operate them in harsh environments where you can't usually put electronics or electric actuators might fail in those applications. In our particular market, we're doing pneumatic systems. A lot of people prefer those because they're simple, they're easy to maintain, they're cost effective, they're easy to integrate. That's why it's so prevalent. So you would go to pneumatics for ease of maintenance, lower cost. The components usually lower cost because they're not as designed and robust as that, and they're a lot cleaner because you're just using air compressor systems. So that's why it continues to grow. Even though they talk about electric taking over for actuation, there's still a huge demand for pneumatics and hydraulics because it fills the gaps in that electrical actuators couldn't do or electric components couldn't do on their own,
Hmm.
usually leading to larger loads, higher loads, and better for environment, certain environmental conditions.
Hmm. Okay. Are you able to maybe give some examples of those environmental conditions where fluid power
Yeah,
technologies would be a better fit?
yeah. So, if you're talking about on vehicle applications, that's usually where you see a lot of hydraulics. But
Hmm.
however, um, we've provided pneumatic components for such things as accessories on vehicles, such as, school buses might have extender arms out on the front of the bus that helps for crossing, might operate a whistle or something on the vehicle. So wherever they can, some of the heavy vehicle manufacturers are looking beyond hydraulics and going to pneumatics for a lot of their accessories, whether it be horns, bells, whistles, things like that. Because again, it goes back to it's a lot cleaner, a lot easier to maintain. But they can survive in that application, provided that they're given proper protection. So those are particular applications. You get into food and packaging, a lot of it can be really dirty. A lot of times they'll go by and they'll just spray the machine when they're cleaning the machine off. So that lends itself to where a lot of electronics now you have to put that in boxes and cover them up. We can design pneumatic components with IP ratings and also materials that can now actually take the direct spray and the wash down. So those are particular applications that you would use fluid power as opposed to electric components for.
Great. And so are there maybe particular applications where you've seen pneumatics itself being utilized maybe a bit more in industrial, um, on the industrial side, and what maybe makes it a good fit for those applications?
Yeah, I think really when it comes to manufacturing and automation, pneumatics really plays a role into that. I mean, obviously, if you want high precision and things like that, and very small loads, you can go to electric actuations and components. But manufacturing and pneumatics is you got speed and simplicity because pneumatics can offer faster cycles and are easy to maintain. The clean operation, so they're great for food, pharmaceuticals, electronic industry and processing, such as a semiconductor. That makes it very clean for those. And comparably, they're more cost effective. Whereas, a pneumatic system as your compressors, your air prep, your valves, and your actuators, all there with simple controls to turn them on and off, as opposed to an elaborate system that you have to have a lot of electrical components and controls. So a lot of medical and laboratory, great for pneumatics, food and packaging, great application for pneumatics. I talked about the vehicles. Yeah, vehicles do use primarily hydraulics, but there is, as I mentioned, pneumatics in those systems as well. So it's great for us. I mean, as an engineer here, you can easily be working on any project at any given moment.
Mhm.
There's plenty of systems that I never thought would use air or applications that we get requests for, and we're designing for those systems. So it's something that's never fully replaced. It's just adapted even more into more industries.